Over to you, Diane.
Here we go. Hello. Um, Thank you for having me. And it's hard to believe that it's the end of the year already. But I've really enjoyed tuning in on these calls for the last mostly half year. So thank you so much for organizing them and spending some time with me so I can share about a project. So I'm sharing, it's I guess it's a soft launch of our interactive AI decision map, which is a tool that I developed with a small team to help artists navigate AI in whatever way best suits their practice. So I'll explain what I mean by that in a few moments. But I also wanted to invite people to test the product, so it'll be ready for beta testers within the next 2 weeks, and I'd love to invite people in the room or maybe the extended network, your extended networks, to test the product as well. But our decision map sits within a broader project called Digital Ancestry, Mortality, Memory, and Machine. It's a 6-month project. We're closely approaching month 4, where we've had artists, researchers, and technologists collaborate in exploring creative and ethical questions around AI. So I'll walk you through the project at large first, and then zoom in on the decision map, which is one of our outputs. Um, I'll briefly introduce the team. It's just me from the team on the call today. Um, then share some guiding questions to our project, the timeline, what we've done up until now, what we want to do for the next 2 months, and then zoom in on the decision map. So, uh, besides myself, I have lovely Izzy and Carly who have been leads on the project. So Izzy is a multidisciplinary artist. She originates from Mexico, and her artwork style explores subconscious and dreamlike states, specifically in relation to Mexican folklore. A really amazing artist. And then Carly is our lead researcher, also practicing artisan in that she's a writer with a journalism background. And myself, I have a art practice, which is hobby, but so I love being in the art space. I always find myself here, but my background academically and professionally is in AI and machine learning as a developer. So I brought in that lens of any technical support that's been needed so far. So the guiding questions for our mortality memory and machine project originally started with
Sorry,
a speculative. Oh,
sorry to
yes.
interrupt. I'm not sure if you're changing slides.
Oh, I am.
Screen changing. So yeah, thank you.
Wait, you can't see it.
Now, yeah, now it's working.
Now you can. Okay, it is working. Okay. So I'll share. These are my lovely teammates. I don't know if you saw them. Um, okay. So um So yeah, regarding questions, it really started off with a speculative curiosity, something we wanted to explore AI, create something new. And with Izzy's background in exploring Mexican folklore, and then her personal practice as like a full-time artisan, is like, can AI be a caretaker of lore and my artistic legacy? So, um, I guess a little bit background on that is Izzy and I months prior started talking about how is AI showing up in artist communities, and then something that really kind of startled her was when she saw AI generated works in our mutual network that resembled her own art. So then it became the concern of like what does authorship mean? What does protection mean? What does consent mean as an artist? But at the same time, she was curious and open. So it's like, could AI help me with my creative practice? She has her personal preferences, which all artists do, of course, where she said that, she's been practicing for 15 years. She has her specific style, and that the creation of creating a new image to her is sacred. So she doesn't want to include generating images with AI, but she's curious, how can AI help me in other ways? So this is a personal preference. Can it help with writing bios? Can it help with admin tasks? So this is the conversation that really seeded this project. And we identified kind of artistic experiments that Izzy could do to create art. Um, but we were like, okay, we're doing a 6-month project. How can we share our learnings and not just in a way that it's just our team and AI, but we're sharing our learnings with the broader arts community. And so this is where we came up with our tangible, resourceful question, which is like, how can we support art practitioners to use AI or opt out of AI? Because, like I said, there's the unique preferences of each artist. And I am switching the slide again, so I don't know if you can see the slide. But just to
Okay.
share a little bit about the timeline. Um, so right now we're in month 4. It's funded by the Canadian government. Up until now, we've done lots of research, interviews with artists, researchers, and technologists. And then we've done the arts experiments that I've shared with you. And then we've started developing our decision map. So each time we create, maybe I'll explain that in the next slide, what our decision map process. But we've kind of really expanded, and now we're at a critical phase where we're zooming in on, okay, now we need to clean up our work into a final report, and share our findings, clean up our decision map. Izzy finalize her paintings and sculptures. Um, and that's why I'm inviting beta testers in the coming weeks. So, what does our decision map look like? I'll share not its current state, but the state it was at the start. And so if you can think of a yes/no kind of decision chart with multiple decision nodes throughout our arts experiments, when we're exploring different ways to collaborate with or not collaborate with AI throughout a creative process, we had a number of nodes that we came up with. So, are we posting this artwork online? Are we concerned about style mimicry? Are we concerned about copyright infringement? These sorts of questions. I can share more specific examples in a few minutes. But this was the brainstorming stage. And we've gotten it to a point now where it's interactive. So let me switch the slide again. So I'm gonna try and I just did a screen record, so hopefully I can um, talk while I share the screen recording. But now it's in a place where we have it interactive. We share who it's for, the different tracks that there are. So do you want to keep your work out of AI training? Are you concerned about protecting and preserving your artwork? Do you want to let AI help without oversharing? So more on the admin side of collaboration. And then the third track is a creative side of collaboration. So finding ways to generate images, but also protecting copyright infringement and intellectual property. And the goal is that this tool obviously is an education tool to kind of mystify the fear of what AI means for arts communities and have people go through the decision flow chart and answer the questions based on their own personal preferences. So do I want to, one example with the creating new art is like, am I concerned with ethical sourcing of training data. So, if someone's really concerned about how the training data was sourced, whether or not it fairly compensates artists or was not stolen and approved by artists, then maybe you want to choose a different um, training models rather than ChatGPT, for example. So this is the current state that it's in now. I'm not sure if you've been able to see the my screen recording.
Diane, I think the slide might have not changed.
Oh
I didn't
no.
mean to interrupt you because it's very interesting things, but yes, now we can
Okay.
see the screen recording.
Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry. I feel like it would have been much easier to follow if you also saw the visual at the same time. Okay. So I'll quickly run through it. It's now in an interactive state. Um, what is the framework? What does it help people do? What I described, the different tracks. So the protect track, the collaborate admin track, and then the collaborate create track. Then we have, let me zoom past my screen recording. Okay, so then this is the interactive part where people can actually expand full screen and go through the decision map itself. So they pick which track they want to do, and then they choose their decisions based on their preferences. And then this is me kind of zooming out and sharing the different tracks and the first decisions that one goes through. Um, I described the create vision, the create track. So do you want to create an image with AI? Are you concerned about the ethical um, training models? Uh, this avoids style mimicry. It also protects from copyright infringement. Like it informs the users like, okay, if you're going to publish artwork as your own and it's AI generated, then you need to follow a certain number of steps to protect oneself from um, potential intellectual property infringements. So, uh, what I mentioned when I thought it was the end of this was that the goal is that this is an educational tool and it meets art practitioners where they're at. I also would like eyes on this, not just artists, but also, policymakers and developers to see kind of the needs of the arts communities when creating or building policy around AI. So that's the current state of where it's at. And in 2 weeks, we'll reach our month 4 of our 6-month project. So I'd like to start inviting beta testers um, from during month 4 to month 5, so mid-December to mid-January. And this is kind of what I've defined as launch ready. So anyone who's beta testing can look for these 3 things. The learning element, like I mentioned, of course, is educational. Are you learning anything for how to use AI responsibly? I'd also like it to be a living document in that, we've developed it with a very small team, right? And now we're almost ready to invite testers. But Izzy's needs might be different than the broader community. So I'd like it to be a living document in that there's invitation for feedback. If someone chooses, oh, I want to maybe protect my work, or I want to make sure that art I'm creating is abiding by copyright rules, and they don't learn what they sought out to from it, then they can provide that feedback kind of seamlessly. And then on that topic, ease of interaction overall. So the user experience, it's clear, it flows well. So these are the things I'm looking for in order for us to be prepared for the month 6 um, sharing of it. And it is an open source tool. So that's kind of the where the living document like continuous improvement comes from. It's like developed by and for the community. Yeah, so that's all I had to share. I was curious if anyone on the call wanted to try this out in the coming weeks, then um, please share your email in the chat. I think that's the easiest way for me to collect information, and solely will use emails just for the purpose of communication regarding the decision map framework. But thank you so much for giving me the time and space.
Thank you, Diane.